All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Passions Podcast. I am your regular host, LeTara, back by popular demand with Mr. Eric Vera.
Hello.
I'm so happy to have you on again. I got so many great responses to you last time from your episodes that aired last time. So I know I'm thrilled, and I think the listeners will be thrilled as well.
Listen, anytime I have no one to talk about this 90s soap opera with. So anytime I can have any kind of discourse about Tabitha and Hecuba and Sheridan and Teresa, lay it on me, baby, because I am here to talk. I had such a great time, and I'm so grateful to be back, especially on this week of weeks.
Hello, the most explosive week that we have had so far, and truly my favorite week so far. I don't think I've had a set of episodes that I loved more than these yet.
Yeah, I mean, this is what Passions is all about this week.
Ooh.
And from the beginning to now is the big secret. I think this is the secret of all secrets, because it will have ramifications for the entire series.
And for everybody in town.
Yeah. Oh, we're going to talk about those facial expressions and all the good stuff that we get, because we get so much great reaction shots of the secrets of secrets.
It's crazy how every person in this, every family in this show is connected to this. Like they are affected by this and are connected to it. And it's crazy. Anyway,
yeah.
So what are we talking about? We're talking about Ethan is not a crane. And we all knew this. Everybody fucking knew this. But now all of Harmony knows.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, we're going to get into it. Should we? Oh, I don't know. Should we start? Let's start with, let's start with magic. Let's finish with our crane.
Yes. And you know what's great about this is that so much is happening in magic as well.
Yes.
And that's my bread and butter. I mean, anytime I get some Hecuba, Tabitha, Timmy, I'm thrilled. Not to mention, we get the epicness that is Norma.
Norma. Oh my gosh. And Norma hangs around for a while.
Oh yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. Yes. So let's start with magic. Let's just start from the beginning and go on through, huh? Shall we?
Sounds good.
So we pick up this week where Kay is debating whether or not she should help Charity, who has been pushed into hell. Yes. And is she's still kind of clawing at the wall, trying to stay inside, but and screaming for help from Kay. But Charity gets dragged to hell as Kay watches on, and Hecuba watches too, in glee, of course. And then this was my favorite thing that Kay did. Kay just stands there and says, How could I have done that? I sent my cousin to hell. I sent my cousin to hell. Oh, okay, sweetie. How could you have done that though? Honestly.
I mean, and this is so huge, right? I mean, because this is so we have a lot going on with Ethan and the Cranes, but here, in terms of Passions and how important this is, Tabitha has been trying since episode 1 to get rid of Charity. And now it looks as though Hecuba has finally pulled it off. I mean, Charity is on the brink of going into hell. And finally, and Kay, again, I know she has no soul. However, it's funny because the complications that she's having and her facial expressions don't really match what's going on. So she's kind of like, I don't know. Like, instead of like really, I mean, I don't know if it's like, I have no soul, so therefore I cannot really relay that information in my facial expressions. However, she's just kind of looks constipated and is like,
I agree. It's so interesting to me because sometimes, and she has not had a soul for a while, okay? Sometimes she's like, you can't do this. And she has like these big, like, I want my soul back. She has like these emotions. And then other times she's like, oh no, Charity. And like, and they need to decide which is it. Like, can she feel nothing or can she feel some emotions? You know what I mean? Like, which one is it? Whatever. In this moment, she, I guess, feels nothing. Although she tried to pull Charity back.
She did make an effort, and even I think Hecuba says something like she had some little feeling towards that. I know this is going on at the same time that there's a huge party at the Crane Mansion, but I think this qualifies under magic with Grace and Miguel having a conversation about Charity. I just wanted to,
yeah, go for it.
Oh, well, you made an incredible facial expression, so I think we're both on the same wavelength here. Yeah. But basically, Grace is talking about Charity, and Miguel's talking about how much he loves Charity. And Miguel says something along the lines that Charity, he goes, sometimes I think Charity is an angel and that God will call her back soon. I'm like, those are things murderers say before they kill their partner. I've watched enough IDTV, True TV, Miguel. What? That's
exactly, you're at the exact place I am in my notes, where, because I was like, yeah, at one point at the engagement party, Miguel goes and randomly talks to Grace.
Which is weird because they snuck away for and she even's like, we've been gone for a really long time.
Listen, let me tell you, I have a lot to say about Grace this week. A lot to say about Grace this week, and what they did to Grace. I do not appreciate what they've done to Grace, the choices that they have made for her character, but we will get to that when we go to the mansion. Right now we're still at Grace's house where she ain't. But Miguel says to her, oh yeah, no, it was so funny because he says, I just get the feeling that Charity and I won't be together forever. And Grace is like, what do you mean? Charity could never love another boy. The fuck? Girl, yes, she could. And you should be encouraging her to love another boy. Yeah. Like, don't settle down at 16, people.
Yeah.
It's a bad idea for most people. It is
really odd to me that Sam and Grace are so, I mean, I can understand being enamored with somebody's partner, but they're so young. They're so young. Like, I would just, at that time, I would usually just kind of chalk it up to like that first love. Like, this could happen. I've seen it happen. However, I'll just let them figure their thing out and let them do their thing. But also remind Charity, who's my niece, that she doesn't have to, this doesn't have to be permanent. You know, they're making it sound like they're star-crossed lovers or that they were destined for each other. Like it was written in the stars.
Well, they are star-crossed. I mean,
yeah,
it is.
That's for sure.
That's for sure. But so yes, this whole thing about her being an angel on the earth and someday she'll be called back to heaven. It was very cringy. It was very weird. It was, I don't know, but I wrote it. He said, sometimes I think her visions are just God speaking through her. Okay. But
she tried to choke you a couple times in the mine shaft and all this other stuff.
Yeah, was that God coming through her too? Was that God coming through her trying to choke you and shooting lightning at you?
It was God saying, go home.
Go.
You have overstayed your welcome. Pilar wants you home.
Go home. That's hilarious. All right, so let's go on.
Back to Hecuba.
Yeah.
I gotta say this. Hecuba says something about Kay finally, again, where's my soul? I want my soul. Can I have my soul back? And I don't know why in my head I even thought that she would end up with her soul. I don't know if I remembered something. I mean, I think I remember some things, and I think that's what's interfering with me. But the fact is, Hecuba basically makes up something on the spot and is like, oh, well, I have to do a special spell to make your soul go back to you, transfer back to you intact. And she's like, what? She goes, she says something like along the lines like she made it up.
Yeah, no, she does her own little aside.
Yes.
It's like, well, that's because I just made that up. Like she says that, because I think what Kay says to her when she tells her I have to do a special spell is that you never said that before. That's not what you said before.
There it is.
She's like, well, that's because I just made it up. Like there to herself. But Yeah, Hecuba's hanging on to Kay's soul, which of course she is. She's evil.
Yeah.
That's why you don't sell your soul.
Exactly.
There is no refund policy.
Yeah.
Listen, let me just tell you, I pass by things in New York City all the time. There's all kinds of like weird shit in New York, like just like little random like art quote installations, like on the like street art and shit. I swear to God, so much of it, I'm like, this looks like it'll steal your soul. Like so much of it. I'm like that. One time I was like walking recently with one of my friends, and it was like a box TV, and it had like menstruation written across it and like blood, and then it had like a doll sitting on top with its eyes gouged out. And she was like, should we take a picture? I was like, bitch, no, that's how you get your soul stolen.
Yeah.
Like, how do you not know this? That's basic.
That's an artifact you find in Cabin in the Woods or Evil Dead, and that resurrects stuff. That's what that sounds like.
I don't want a memento of this. I'm good. I would like to forget it, that I ever saw it. But anyway, I don't know why I'm talking about that. I guess because it's talking about stealing your souls. Whatever.
Yeah.
So she stole her soul and has no intentions of giving it back. None whatsoever.
I like that while she's doing this, she's lamenting and like, where's my soul? Hecuba's jamming out on a CD player, and like Robin Strasser's like getting it. I would like to think, okay, what year is this? It's like 2001. So are we getting some like Britney, like is it Oops, I Did It Again era? What is she listening to? Is she listening to some Dixie Chicks?
2001.
The Chicks.
The thong song.
Oh my God. Oh my God. If Hecuba was there going, I like the way the booty go, da-da, da-da. I mean, hey, we might need to superimpose some music onto that and just pretend like we know what she's listening to.
Maybe I will. That's my fucking shit too, by the way. Thong song. I hadn't heard the thong song in probably like 16 years. And then I heard it over the summer. I was at the beach and I heard it at the beach. And then I have not stopped listening to it.
It still goes off. Cisco knew exactly what he was doing.
It's so good. It's got exactly one verse that he repeats over and over again. It's so goddamn good. But anyway, moving on. Let me see that thong.
And Hecuba's there with the soul. Baby.
Thong, 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 thong. Okay. So let's get back to not the thong song, but Passions, where Hecuba has stolen Kay's soul. Meanwhile, Miguel actually calls to check on Charity, and Hecuba impersonates Charity as she does. You know, she does the voices. She's much better at voices than I am. Yeah, I could never.
I mean, and it's so funny because I think even the actress who played Charity put on the like doe-eyed voice, because she was like, oh, I'm here with Kay and I'm watching a horror movie.
Yes. In the background you can hear Charity screaming. And Miguel's like, what was that? I'm coming right over. And she's like, no, it's just a horror movie. He was like, I thought I heard you screaming. You know. But
the stock yells in The Fires of Hell are so funny because they are so repetitive, and throughout the whole week you just hear the loop of repetitive yelling in the background. It is so funny.
I totally forgot I was gonna make a Zoom background of Hell. I fucking forgot. I'm so mad. I have time. There's Hell comes in again, but I was gonna make a Zoom background of Hell and be like, we're in hell. Of that, like just take a picture of that with Charity in there and just be like, I don't know. But anyway.
And this repeats because again throughout the week Kay will say to Hecuba, hey, come back, I need to talk to you, I want my soul. Hecuba picks up a duck, like a random duck, and just says, hello, ducky. And I think this is just like her MO now. Like she just randomly picks up props.
Yeah, she picks up stuff all the time, just like holding it. We were watching on the watch party for the Patreon the other day. We were watching an episode and she was just like holding that plastic Santa Claus.
Yeah, so that's what it made me think of. I was like, Hecuba's got like I don't know. She's just always really interested in her surroundings.
She loves tchotchkes.
Yes, there it is.
So even though Hecuba impersonating Charity tells Miguel not to come over, everything is fine, Miguel comes over anyway because he's obsessed with this girl. Okay, he's obsessed. So he comes over anyway, and Kay is downstairs and keeps him from going upstairs to check on Charity, saying it took her a really long time to go to sleep. She's sleeping. It took me a really long time to get her to go to sleep. Please do not go up there and wake her up. The baby's sleeping, Miguel.
Yeah. And Jessica did the same thing too. Jessica tried several attempts to try and get into the room as well. And Kay did get her to stop. I know that at one point, Miguel was there and he's trying to get up there. Kay does manage to stop them, and Hecuba's like, you need to help. Like, at some point you're going to get in trouble for this. To which she kind of has this attitude, and Hecuba says that little airhead's copping an attitude. There'll be a cold day in hell before she gets her soul back. I was like, yes.
Yeah, no, Hecuba has zero intention of giving her soul back. Zero. Which is the first time we learned that, I think.
Yes,
these episodes was the first time we learned that. Yeah.
She's kept it from us as well. So this week is driving it home that she has no intention to get Kay her soul back.
No. So Miguel comes over. Kay tells him not to go upstairs. She tells Jessica, don't, whatever. Then randomly, Kay and Miguel like cozy up on the couch.
Yeah.
And Kay then asks him if he's ever realized if he's ever made a wrong decision and couldn't change it or something like that.
Yeah.
And also, they're cozying up because Kay is like a block of ice. Everybody keeps saying she's as cold as you're as cold as ice.
Her and Ivy
to sacrifice. Her and Ivy. Ivy melted this week, man.
Yeah.
I can't wait till we get there.
We're almost there.
We're almost there because there's honestly not that much more of this.
Yeah.
But they cozy up on the couch, which was odd to me. I don't know. Here's my thing. If I had a boyfriend and he had a best friend who was a woman, that's not a problem. But if she very obviously has feelings for him, and not only does she have feelings for him, she has confessed at least twice that she has feelings for him. Like, I feel like Miguel should understand that there should be a line, a boundary for him. Like, I don't know. He puts his arms around Kay, and I think it should be a boundary, not just as a respect to Charity, but respect to Kay. Like, do not lead this girl on.
Speaking as a man, I will say we suck. Plain and simple. Like,
you'll get no arguments from me.
Plain and simple. Like, it is so, like, when I saw them chilling there, even my notes, I tried to give them the benefit of the doubt. It's like, they've been friends for so long, they're that comfortable. But come on, like, that's a lot. Like, they were really, that is, if Charity ever walked in, I would have thrown up. It would have been like that video that went viral a while back about like some guy chilling with this girl, and then the girlfriend came in. It was like this viral video that where people are like, is that person in the friend zone? Is that person just a friend? Was that person expecting the lover to show up? It was like, this is a little much. And it's very obvious too, because he brings up again that Charity came into town and you fell in love with Reese, which I know that I've heard so many of the episodes of the podcast, but this fake Reese relationship, I don't ever remember where it came about.
How the fuck is it still going on? Is my issue. I can tell you exactly when it came
Tell
about.
me, I need to know.
It came about in like episode like 3. This happened at the very, very, when we met these characters, because Kay obviously is in love with Miguel.
Yeah.
But her and her sister were having like this like back and forth kind of prank war kind of thing. And I think Jessica sent Kay like a text message and pretended that it was from Reese, but then it pretended like it was from Miguel. It was like this whole thing, but that's how this came about. And Reese is what they said at the beginning is Reese is Miguel's best friend, and he would never date a girl who was mean to Reese. And so then Kay started being nice to Reese, and Reese did truly have like a big crush on Kay. So I think Jessica set it up to where Miguel walked in on Kay and Reese not really kissing, but in a moment where it wasn't what it actually was. And so now that's just what it is. But have you ever not once have I seen Kay intentionally kiss Reese. She kissed him by accident. Never once have I seen her be nice to him, give him a
affectionate
hug,
or show some sense of humanity. I've never seen that. So it makes me laugh with this like Tabitha-like spell that has been cast over these young people where Miguel's like, and you love Reese. I mean, it's like, no. Have you ever seen any example of her like caring about him?
Here's the thing. To me, it's bullshit and it's a cop-out on Miguel's part. Like, this isn't even about the, I mean, I guess I've chalked it up to the storytelling, right? Like that the writers have decided that Miguel is that's how shitty he is. That's what I've decided, that Miguel is just shitty, and that he knows that Kay has feelings for him, but keeps just like, but I can't be with you because of Reese and Charity. And like, okay.
You know, what's funny that you say that, because I thought that while I was rewatching all of these, I sat there and was like, I feel like if I really met Miguel in real life, he would have totally hooked up with both Charity and Kay. I feel like that, like, and if he could have had his cake, he would definitely eat it too.
Okay, that's what I have said over and over again on this show, that these writers never met a teenage boy, because this is just not how teenage boys operate, especially like hot, any like hot, popular, athletic teenage boy in high school. This is not how the fuck they operate. Period. Point blank, period. Like you said, he absolutely would have had his cake and eat it too. But beyond that, I maintain that no popular hot boy would be fucking around with Charity, this weird girl. She's fucking weird. The weirdo of Harmony High.
Well, I will bring back, I did have a crush on the actress who played Charity, but I was not hot. I think I have, my humor is what gets me through the door.
Baby, me too.
Hey, that is what I'm like. Roger Rabbit. Roger Rabbit has a beautiful ass wife, and it's because he makes me laugh. So I know I'm a catch. However, if I had Miguel's looks and my sense of humor, oh my God, I'd have been knocking down on Sheridan's door. I'd have been like, do you really want to be with Luis, or do you want to be with me?
You mean you can have all this?
You can have all the Lopez Fitzgeralds.
Yeah, I always tell people, the reason I'm not thin is because the Lord does not give with both hands, honey. Like, I'm funny, I'm smart, I'm talented. and I'm very pretty, just not thin. Like, if I was skinny, y'all couldn't tell me shit. It would be over for you hoes. I swear to God, it would be over for everybody. I would be the world supreme leader. Okay, if I was thin, forget it.
It's too much power. Too much power. Too much responsibility. And Spider-Man told us better, so we know.
It's too much power. If I was thin with perky boobs, it'd be over. What can I say?
I liked your Blanche impression over here. Perky bosoms. That was very good.
Yes, I do love me some Blanche. I love the Golden Girls, but that is not what this show is about. This show is about Passions.
After party.
Okay, so, where the fuck are we? Oh, Miguel and Kay cozying up on the couch. And so she asks him if he's ever made a mistake and didn't realize it was the wrong decision until it was too late. And he was like, yeah, but anytime I make a mistake, I do my best to fix it. And Kay says, what if something happened and there was no way to fix your mistake?
Yeah.
And he goes, well, then you just have to live with it. And true. You do have to live with, which, listen, if it was me and I had already sent my cousin to hell, oh well, what's done is done.
I know we should have a moral compass at some point. However, if I'm under the guise that she has no soul, I would understand that she has nothing to lose anymore. So the thing that Hecuba has said is she has not said anything about not getting Miguel. So there's your opportunity. She's, you're cozying up, she did not sleep with him when she had the chance, even though the plan was ridiculously flawed. So why not here? I mean, she's in a closet burning in fire.
Listen, once Charity had been gone for a couple of months, I've been consoling Miguel, but I'd definitely be like, all right, now is my time. Like, if that's what you want, you know what I mean? You already did the thing. There's no one doing it. I mean, there probably is someone doing it, but I mean, what's done is done.
If you don't jump on that, Kay, Terry Hatcher will.
And listen, Desperate Housewives was so good. Like,
I love the crossover.
It was so good. But anyway, what am I saying here? I don't know. I'm bad things. I'm saying mean things, horrible things that are.
But it's fun. And I will tell you this: we got the two cozy up on the couch. Which, by the way, Jessica keeps trying to get back upstairs because she knows her sister's up to something. Mm-hmm. But she's like, I love this awful excuse. She's like, "Where's my magazine?" And she like creepily walks back, so like she does the Homer Simpson into the bushes gif.
It was so bad. Yeah, she's like, she knows Kay's not on the up and up. She knows something's up, and Kay keeps trying to keep her downstairs. And she does manage to sneak out, and the way she sneaks out is so dumb. She exactly what you did, and she just like, and sneaks up the back stairway.
You know, I think I've made my decision, and I made it years ago in the original run. Jessica annoyed me back then, and I know that she's good and she's got all this other stuff, but I gotta say, any iteration of Jessica, I've never been a fan, and this week reminded me about it.
I mean, when she finally gets her storyline, there's nothing endearing about her in it. You know what I mean? There's no reason for you to like Jessica,
because the trajectory of Kay herself, I liked Kay. I like Kay even in all of this, where she's made these horrible decisions and sold her soul, and then eventually wherever the story does take her, I love Kay. I am a Kay supporter.
The reason you love Kay, and I think the reason a lot of people love Kay, is because this bitch knows what she wants. She knows what she wants. What is Jessica's objective? What is it that Jessica wants? What is it that she wants beyond annoying her sister? You know what I mean?
She is among the characters that they don't get any shaping. They get no three-dimensionality. They get nothing. And she is one of them.
So when she finally does get a storyline, it's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care. Don't care about this.
But yeah, she just keeps trying to go on there, and eventually find out that Charity's missing.
Yeah, she goes up. Well, this was ridiculous. She goes upstairs, and then we hear her scream. Okay, she screams bloody murder upstairs. So and I think that she has stumbled upon hell,
or saw a rat, or something.
We get Kay and Miguel run up the stairs. Well, Kay tries to keep Miguel from going up there. Kay's like, no, you should. Like, she does not understand how to play this at all. Girl, Charity's in hell. Just let it be. Okay? Yeah. Pretend like you don't know shit. Okay? So you don't know why Jessica's screaming, even though you assume it's because she saw hell. You don't know why Jessica's screaming. When I would play so dumb from the moment Charity went to hell, I would play dumb for the rest of my life.
Oh, yeah.
You would never get me to, even if Charity came back and said it was me, you would never get me to confess. Never.
What?
Like, excuse me? I would just use the same thing they all say. Charity, you're just tired.
Yeah.
Charity, you're just sleepy.
But Charity, don't you remember that beautiful gift I got you for Christmas? That manicure that I was going to give you?
Remember when I cut 2 of your fingernails?
And ran upstairs? I love you that much. Why would I push you into the fires of hell?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And to be fair, she didn't push her in. She just didn't pull her out.
That.
Right? To be fair, she didn't push her in. She just didn't pull her out.
You know, and it is very difficult to master the pull-out method.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of children walking around to prove that. That shit does not work. Do not try that, y'all. Wear condoms. Do not do that.
That's the moral that I took away from this whole week of episodes. Honestly.
Use condoms. Protection.
Yeah. It would have saved a lot of people some
problems.
It would, actually.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Prophylactics. This is the Trojan episode. So
my man Ross shows up at the end of all of this.
Grease. Oh Lord. Well, before let's talk about let's talk about what happened upstairs before Reese even comes in. Okay. So they go upstairs. Kay tries to keep Miguel from going upstairs, which is ridiculous. But they eventually go upstairs. They get upstairs, and this bitch, Jessica's just standing in the room like, oh. And Miguel asks her what's wrong, and she's like, what? He's like, what happened? And she's like, nothing. It just, when I came in this room, it's just so cold, and I just got a bad feeling. Such a bad feeling that you screamed, like there was a murderer in the house.
Bad writing.
The fuck? Yeah.
Bad writing.
Fuck? And so she says it was just so cold in the smell. There was like a weird smell, and so she screamed. And so that's the explanation, right? So they are looking for Charity. Charity is missing, like you said.
Yeah.
Kay says, I don't know. I haven't seen her. I mean, last I saw her, she was in bed. That's yeah. You know what? Kay should have, messed up the bed some. You know what I mean?
Or just said, oh, you know what? The last time I saw Kay, the last time I saw Charity, she told me to go downstairs and get her something. I mean, like, just come up with a better lie. But yes, or come up with something.
Yeah, but anyway, Kay comes in, and Jessica touches her and is like, oh my God, you're as cold as a block of ice. And she was like, you feel just like the room felt when I came in this room.
So dumb.
Whatever. And so Jessica and Miguel then ask Kay if she knows anything about where Charity is, like about her whereabouts. You were the last person who saw her alive.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That is terrifying. I mean, like,
you were the last person who saw her alive. So, like, can you help us figure out where did she go? And Kay says, I didn't do anything to her because Jessica is basically flat out accusing her.
Yeah.
Miguel, not so, but he has an accusatory tone for sure. Mm-hmm. And it's very forceful. Kay's like, I didn't do anything to Charity. And Miguel keeps going, just what's going on with you, Kay? Everybody's been touching you and seeing how cold you are. Like, oh, that's so annoying. Like, get her to a hospital. Get her to a doctor. Like, if I had a kid who had been freezing cold to the touch for I don't know, 4 weeks since Christmas, he said. I don't know what day it is anymore.
Yeah, God only knows. It's gonna.
I don't know where we
Valentine's or something. We don't know
in these episodes. But he's like, you've been cold like this for at least since Christmas. Like, if my kid didn't warm up within a couple of hours, like I would keep an eye on that. You know what I mean? Take them to the hospital. Something is wrong. They might be severely anemic. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So nobody cares that Kay's about to drop dead from anemia. She doesn't have enough iron in her blood. I never see her eat. I never see them eat.
Yeah.
So anyway, he tells her she's cold all the time and asks her what's going on. Then somehow, and maybe you can help me out with this because my notes say somehow Miguel decides to open the closet door, and Kay tries to stop him, saying she doesn't want anything to happen to him. I don't know how we got here. I don't know how we went from them accusing Kay to Miguel like opening the closet door.
Yeah, so it happens in the span of the last 2 episodes. Basically, they're being accusatory, like, you're the last person who saw her, blah blah blah. But then she mentioned something about like Charity, or they remember that Charity was scared of something being in the closet. So then he makes the choice of being like, well, I'm going to open it. And she's like, no. And he's like, why? Why don't you want me to open the closet? Commercial break. Then we come back again. She says, well, because Charity said something about the closet being bad. So if it's in there, I don't want it to come get you. So that's where we get into this thing. Because I mean, again, this is all a jumble in that there's so much more going on in Harmony than this thing, which is weird because the fires of hell are in somebody's closet, but the more exciting thing is in the other house. Because he manages to get Luis to come and help them look for Charity in the hullabaloo that's going on in the other part of Harmony. So
yeah, and let me tell you, you could not have torn me away from that party.
Hell no. I mean, hell no. I mean, even we'll get there, but yes. No,
I'm staying right here. I got front row seats to this disaster.
And we'll talk about her, but I would have been right next to Rebecca doing the same facial expressions. Like, I know you can't, but if you pay for the Patreon, you're getting all these good facial expressions of me just raising my eyebrow going.
I think I would have been standing next to Sam. I think I would have been hanging out with like
Sam didn't want to leave. Sam was like, I need to hear what's going on.
Well, it fully involves Sam. Again, we are off track. We're almost there. Let's finish this real quick. Okay, so Kay's like, don't open the door, which again, bitch, play dumb. You don't know what's in the closet. Yeah. Pretend like it's just a closet. Because if you open the door, you're not going to get sucked into hell, right? You've been standing in that room with the gates of hell open a lot. And you know that even if he does open the door and hell is there, nothing's going to happen to you because you're just standing there away from hell. So just step away from the closet. If he gets sucked in, he gets sucked in.
Yeah.
No. I don't. But like, play dumb, bitch.
Yes.
No, she's just like so suspicious. Kay is so suspicious, which is why they are suspicious of her.
Yeah.
So he opens the closet door, nothing. Which was interesting to me. I was like, okay, I fully expected hell to be there.
Yeah.
Fully. So it wasn't. It's empty. Then Kay just starts going, again, bitch, play dumb. She's going, Charity is dead. Charity is dead.
Oh, I know. Come on.
Charity is dead. Girl, just say Charity's missing. Like, she's not here. Yeah. She's disappeared. Charity is, she keeps saying she's dead. And she says it like, I don't know, 8 times.
Yeah.
And then
they're like, what do you mean? Why are you saying that?
Yeah. Miguel says, you're not making any sense. And says, why do you think that Charity's dead? And she says, oh, I don't know. I'm just freaked out. No. I don't say that my cousin is dead just because I'm freaked out. You know what I mean? Like, I don't, that's no, it doesn't track for me, but whatever. Miguel then calls Luis, who is at the party. Cause Miguel's like, well, I told her how great the party was. So maybe she snuck out to surprise me at the party. Yeah. Okay. You know what?
Yeah.
I don't know why she would try to sneak out past Kay. Yeah. You know what I mean? But anyway, so he calls Luis to see if Charity's at the party. No, Charity is not at the party, but Luis decides to come over and help, right? So he's gonna leave the party. Very quickly, because what else happens with them? Oh, Luis comes over. Comes over, right? Oh, and they find scorch marks in the closet.
That's
Yeah, they find
that, and then of course, like I said, Reese shows up and was like, the machine that I made to detect evil, which I was not on the week that we had a Ghostbusters Hecuba moment.
Yeah, it was annoying. It was so dumb. Reese is so annoying.
We were given, Ross. But he gives us, they give us a little flashback to the Ghostbuster like Hecuba sucked into a machine kind of thing. But he goes up there as well, and he's freaking out. I'm like, well, first of all, I just have to applaud the creative genius of Reese that he's able to create a machine to detect the evil in Harmony. I'm like, but he can't figure out that the girlfriend that he has fucking hates him. I don't understand. Right.
You are so right. The interesting thing here, speaking of people who can't figure shit out, how did Hecuba why the hell would she get rid of all of hell but leave the scorch marks?
Yeah.
Girl, are you serious? All it takes is a little bit of paint.
Yeah.
Are you serious? You got rid of all of hell, but left a couple of scorch marks. Crazy.
Yeah.
But they find the scorch marks. And so then Miguel's like, why didn't you tell me there was a fire to Kay? Yeah. And Kay's like, I didn't know there was a fire. Charity was just saying there's a fire. I didn't see a fire.
Yeah.
At least I think that's what she said. I might be projecting that onto her because that's just what I would say.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to make decisions for Kay so badly. Like, I want to do a choose your own adventure in this part.
Oh my God.
But
well, that's what's going on that half of the magic. The other half of the magic is our friends Tabitha, Timmy, and Norma.
more literally what I wrote right here is more psycho shenanigans from Timmy and Tabitha.
Yeah.
Because that's what we get. We get more psycho stuff.
Yeah.
Tabitha finally wakes up in the bathtub of this motel and explains that Norma hacked her strawberry shampoo. So what we saw in the tub wasn't blood. She just hacked up her shampoo. And then when Tabitha fell, she bumped her head, so she looked like she was dead, but nothing was wrong with her. I mean, I've never been an axe murderer, but I imagine if I was like an axe murderer who murdered people regularly, I would notice the difference between hitting a shampoo bottle and human flesh.
I think so too, because you sit there and you think, oh my God, Norma is stabbing away, hacking away. She walks away and goes, that's odd. That old woman's blood smells like herbal essence.
You're
like,
right.
can you, I mean, like, writers, give me a little bit of credit. Like, can't you just say, oh, well, Timmy, because I'm a witch, I heal a little bit quicker. It stunned me for a little bit. Like, that would have made more sense to me. Like, she's, give me something.
Yeah, I thought that's what they were going to do. I thought they were going to give us some witchiness, like a witchy reason why Tabitha can't be hatched to death. But no, it's just the shampoo in the tub. So Norma realizes that Timmy had been up to the big house. So she comes back to kill Timmy because she thinks she's killed Tabitha. She comes in to the room as Timmy and Tabitha are trying to get out, and they just start chucking their luggage at her.
I laughed so damn hard. I mean, like, they literally chuck their, like, Tabitha's plan is yeet. I mean, she's like, follow my lead, yeet, and just throws her valise and throws her bags at him. And they do a decent job of doing that. Before all of that, I just wanted to, like, I remember this. I do remember this. But I thought, I don't ever remember that these shadow cats that were chasing Timmy we're supposed to believe that they're real cats.
Yes.
Or I'm like, you couldn't have gotten one cat, like, your budget that you've had, like, mines and prom boat disasters and, like, even your costume budget, like, trim it just a little bit to get one real cat to walk across the camera.
I don't know what it is with this show and cats. I don't know what it is, because they will not show us Fluffy. Yeah, and then they did then they did the exact same thing that they do when they show us when we have Fluffy material, which is show us nothing. But give us like sound effects of cats, and yes, a shadow across. A shadow is more than I've ever gotten a Fluffy. I think. I think I got like a paw on a stick one time. Yeah. But they never show us Fluffy. Yeah. And
but it was just so anyway, it is fun. It's fun. I had fun watching them run around and stuff. And then when I did want to comment quickly on when Tabitha is laying down in the tub before she eats her luggage. Timmy has this really pretty montage of, like, all their moments together. And it got me. I had fun. I was like, you know what? Look at these two. Like, there are dynamic duos throughout TV history, and I don't think Tabitha and Timmy would ever grace the top 10 nor top 50, maybe the top 100, but they're in the top of 3,000 of dynamic duos. The two of them, they showed their prom boat disaster moment. They showed moments that happened like 2 weeks ago. I mean, like, they showed
I believe it covered almost the entire show. Like, it was long.
Yes, because it
was very long. And it was just time. They're just trying to fill time. They're trying to fill time because they knew they had written about 25 minutes of new material for these episodes, truly. And so a lot of it was recap, all of Timmy and Tabitha's stuff was like nonsense, useless stuff completely.
It was all the funny bits.
After they yeeted their luggage at Norma, they go to their car, which was a Ford Taurus, by the way. I recognize this car. My grandma had one. But they get in, and then the damn thing won't crank. And so then she has Timmy go get in the engine and like fuck around with the engine, and he like bangs it with a hammer and it cranks up. What?
I will say that Tabitha hauled ass with Timmy underneath the hood of the car, and that cracked me up. I mean, they were like,
"Why not? We got to get the hell out of here."
Yeah, one of us is a doll, and the other one's human flesh. So let's go.
Oh my God. They finally get to the airport, and these two motherfuckers are dressed like a nun and a rabbi. Where did they get these costumes? What? So they're in the airport trying to hide from Norma, who has followed them to the airport and is like walking around. Did she have her axe?
Oh, yes. With her hatchet. She's walking around with a hatchet. I wrote this down. I said, Norma is walking around the airport with a motherfucking hatchet. And I got to tell you, you know what? These are the kinds of things you could do pre 9/11.
Pre 9/11, the airport was an open space. Like you could just go in there and just be in the fucking airport at the gates.
The director couldn't have even been like, all right, Marianne, the incredible actress who plays Norma and who's in everything. If you just look her up, odds are there's like 50 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Marianne, Norma is on all of those things. But the director could have been like, all right, you have the hatchet here. Just cover it just a little bit with your shirt or with your coat or put it over here. No, she's like literally walking by the vending machines with that hatchet.
She's walking around doing like this.
Yes, like cutting motions.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, okay. When Tabitha and Timmy went to get their airline ticket, I got to give this honorable mention to this random background actress who Tabitha and Timmy go underneath the little partition. They go underneath the little ropes. And this lady is so offended that this nun and this rabbi just got in front of her.
I love it.
I was like, wait, I hope she had a career. I hope she went from background actress to like something incredible. I don't know who it is, but you got my attention.
Well, they get to the airport counter, and the airport counter lady is like, oh my gosh, you're the lady who wrote this book. So we get an ad for Tabitha's book again. And Tabitha's like, no, that's not me. Oh, see, I should never, ever do voices.
I heard it. I like it. You got to try. No,
I'm so bad. It went too far. No, dear, that's not me. See, I can't do me, whatever.
I cannot tell you how many times in my life I've looked at somebody and we're talking about something and I'll just randomly be like, Tabitha Lennox. Because the way she would just enunciate
Listen to you, but see, you're a trained actor, an actor, you know. I can't do that. So
but no, it was good. And yeah, that whole bit was just so dumb. Funny.
This book that keep trying to push on us,
and I
did buy.
That's how it became a New York Times bestseller. People were like, "All right, fuck, I'll buy this book. Can we move on? I want to know what's going on with."
Well, Timmy and Tabitha make it back to Harmony in their vestments. Okay, in their little cloth, in their a man of the cloth and a woman of the cloth. Back to Harmony. Hecuba shows up because Timmy keeps saying they get changed. They have more Timmys. Timmy keeps saying he basically recaps everything that has happened in Harmony since they've been away. Okay, so we don't really have to do that. But Timmy says, what if Hecuba really did get rid of Charity? And Tabitha says, no way she got rid of Charity. I couldn't do it. You think Hecuba could do it? But Charity's got that goodness power surrounding her. That fucking angel is always getting in the way, and Miguel is always there to keep her protected too. Gives an added layer of protection. And then Timmy just tells us everything we know, which is that the angel was busy with Grace.
Yes.
And that Miguel somehow ended up away from Charity.
And before Hecuba gets there, the kids show up to ask Tabitha if they've seen Charity. And Tabitha's like, no, I haven't seen her. I hope she's okay, blah, blah, blah. And I will say, in the span of episodes, I haven't seen one yet, but I was so excited to get a Tabitha calling Reese Ross.
Oh yeah.
I was so excited. And I know it means nothing to anybody but Passions people, is that I got to see her be condescending and call Reese
No, I love
Ross.
it.
And Reese saying, it's Reese.
She's like, of course.
Yeah.
I love it.
But yes, Hecuba shows up after that, and Hecuba is like, I did it. And now that she's done for, and by the way, Hecuba takes a drink straight from the shaker like a badass.
She chugs the thing. She chugs all their martinis.
She had a taste of that martini that first time, and she's like, I need more. She's
like, that's a good drink.
And she's like, now my sights are set on, I told you I was going to come kill you all. And now that Charity is dead, it's your turn. And I have to say, I did look a little forward past it, and I won't spoil anything, but these are the moments that I live for on this show. I was so excited to get Tabitha and Hecuba time, to see these two divas go up against each other, with a little sprinkle of Timmy going in, because even in our episodes, Timmy does lunge at Hecuba to defend his woman.
He tries to fight her. He throws some bows. He swings at her, but she just puts her hand on his forehead and like holds him back, and he just keeps swinging. It's adorable.
So cute. It's so damn cute. And I'm just happy, everyone, that they give Timmy things to do that are like, he had a real response, which was like, I love that girl. I went after her. All of that was good. I can't wait to see where it goes from after that, because we're going to get some Tabitha Hecuba time.
Yes, we are. All right. We're going to move on. But before that, we're going to take a quick break. And I'm going to say thank you to all the patrons over on Patreon. So thank you to Munashe, Marcus, Erica, Breland, Lisa, Zach, Sid, Sarana, Dustin, Heather, Randall, Ashley, Shannon, Hannah, Camelia, Amanda, Monique, Samantha, Amy, Jeanette, Eric, and Jamie. Thank you all so much for your help in keeping the show on, because I'm telling you, it really, really, truly helps. And if anybody who's not a patron would like to join up, you can go over to patreon.com/Passions Podcast and choose any tier you like.
For a quick plug, as someone who benefited the other day from the Patreon, a group of us got on. We had our Timmy happy hour, watched an episode, and then just by a whim of a comment, I was talking about remembering that at one point on the Passions website, there was a Tabitha, basically Magic 8-Ball, where you could ask her a question and she would respond. And I was saying the two things that I remember were, the ancient tome foretells that you shall have your way. And then the other response I remember was, oh, hell's bells, of course not. And those are the only two things that I remember. Then you had the idea of looking at the Wayback Machine, and we had fun on the Passions website from 2001.
Yeah, it was a blast.
That's the kind of magic you get on the Patreon.
I had a very good time, and in fact, that has inspired me to start like a Passions trivia night. I'm definitely gonna do
some trivia.
We did some Passions trivia from the website, and then we found some other things. So I am definitely, because trivia is like one of my favorite things. I love a trivia night, so I'm definitely gonna figure out the best way to kind of host a good trivia night. Passions trivia, so y'all be looking out for that. But yeah, we had a great time. That was so much fun, and we always have a good time on the Patreon when we get together. So quick, that was a nice plug. Thank you, Eric. All right, so we're gonna move on. Y'all listen, buckle the fuck in, okay? Hold on to your dicks and balls and pussies, because this shit was so good. It was truly explosive. And then I cried real tears at one point, like more than I've ever been moved by this show. It was truly, there was a truly moving moment that I am shook by, that I think actually I might, but I might edit it into this episode, just that clip, but we're already running a little long on time, so we'll see.
This is what happens when the two of us get together. We get too excited. I was not going to let magic go without talking about every microsecond of it. But here is the real deal.
Y'all, this is the meat and the potatoes this week. I have 4 full pages of notes. So let's get it started. Ha! Let's get it started in here. Which is a song that you might play at a party, an engagement party, perhaps.
Which is probably what Hecuba was hearing.
It's a song you might play at an engagement party, but not at this engagement party, because honey, y'all, the records have screeched to a grinding halt. There is no fun being had at this party, only by Rebecca. Rebecca's the only person at this party who's happy. Everybody else is devastated. Every single person in this room. So let's talk about Julian. When we pick up this week, Julian is getting ready. He has the tabloid in his hands. He's getting ready to tell everybody at the engagement party Ivy's secret, right? And show everybody this tabloid. But before that, he just continues to yell about how Ivy's made a fool of him and kind of berate Ivy. He's like, you've made a fool of me. You've made a fool of me for years. Oh, he gives a great performance. And honestly, it's, y'all, when I say the writing this week for this part was so perfect, because, and also the acting, I think it wouldn't be so good without Ben and without Kim, because
they're incredible together.
Even though Julian was like berating Ivy, I had sympathy for him. I was like, yeah, I mean, that's a big secret. If anybody who doesn't know what the secret is, Ethan is not Julian's son. Just in case somebody just dropped in randomly today. Julian has just found out that the son that he has raised for like 25 years is not actually his son.
And even within the context of the show, everybody's favorite, Alistair included, Julian included, is Ethan. Yeah. There's Fox and Fancy and Pretty. They're all out there as well. We haven't met them yet, but they're all out there as well. But Ethan is the go-to Crane. Ethan is the person that Alistair picked to surpass Julian as the heir. He is the clear favorite. So this idea that Julian has raised this perfect person that no matter what, at least Alistair, dear father, could be impressed by, is not even his. Yeah. And so that itself, and I think humanistically, or like even in that like father route, like he really thought one of the best things he ever did in his life was at least make Ethan.
Yeah.
And that's gone now.
I do want to say very quickly, because as we go on, we're going to continue like this conversation around Ethan is in a Crane, and Julian's not Ethan's father, but Julian is Ethan's father. I want to be clear that how I feel about this situation personally is that somebody who raised you is your father.
Yes.
So I want to be clear about that, because I don't want anybody feeling
I agree. No, I agree with you.
We're saying, you're not, that's not, y'all aren't family. They are family. He was raised by Julian. So that's his father, and that's the only father he knows, So I do want to say that, but just as an aside, just going forward, disclaimer, a little disclaimer.
And thank you for bringing that up.
That's not how I feel about it, but this is how it is talked about in the show.
Within the nature of the show, yes, that's what's going on.
This is how it's talked about in the show. So let's get into it further. He's saying, Ivy's lied to me for years. You've been lying all this time. Everyone around them is speculating about what it is that Julian is talking about. Every single person. And Pilar is the only person who's like, I'm pretty sure that it is that Ethan is not his son, that he's found this out. Everybody else is like, there's no way, because Ivy's like, I burnt the papers, and you, me, Eve, and Pilar are the only 3 people who know about this. Then Pilar's like, well, actually, Teresa, but she doesn't say that.
And again, I will say there is a ridiculous amount of beautiful, subtle acting coming from Pilar, who has all these layers to play. She has all her hands in so many decks that she is playing it so beautifully, of like, well, oh God, my daughter knows, and oh God, I think he knows, and oh my God, Ivy's gonna hate me. Like all of these things that she's playing without saying a word,
Yeah.
and without saying the words. So
Yeah.
really cool. Everybody all around, great acting this week.
Yeah. So everybody's speculating about what he's talking about. Ivy says to him, "You're just drunk. You're drunk." And he's like, "No." Not, he goes, "Not this time." No, he's like, "No, I'm not drunk." She says, "You've gone mad, or maybe you have a brain tumor," is what she says to him. And he says, "No, he says, I'm not mad. Like insane mad. I just know your secret." That's what he says to her. "No, I just know your secret, and I'm going to expose it to the one person who means everything to you, your son, Ethan." It's the first time he ever says your son. He always corrects Ivy.
Our.
He always corrects her. She always says my son, and he always like, well, our son. He's our son.
Yeah.
And this was the first time he's ever said your son, Ethan. And that's when Ivy, I think, realized.
I saw it. I saw the acting choice too. I think she knows her lines so well. She's looked at the script so well that Kim made the choice to be like, oh God, even just a little bit. I saw it in her eyes, like he said, your son. And he's never done that.
Well, and they've done that little back and forth a lot, right?
So
they've
it
done
means
that
something
exact
to us.
Little back and forth a lot. And so it is that one little word is very meaningful coming from Julian saying your son. Oh, child. So yeah, I think that's when the light bulb goes off and she's like, what the fuck? She's like, how? She's trying to figure it out. And then he proclaims, he says, I know about your lover. And then he grabs her face and he whispers in her ear and he says, I know about your lover and the letter that you wrote to your lover, the one you obviously never mailed. I know the truth, Ivy.
She knows.
My chest.
Yes, me too. I wrote that down. I said, oh my God, Julian, these are my notes. Julian grabs Ivy cheek to cheek. That was so menacing. And Ivy's acting is so good. The two of them together, there was such good response to each other. Magical
chemistry. Like, it's so, because I feel like chemistry doesn't always have to be like, oh, sexual. And
they are playing 20 some odd years worth of marriage, 20 some odd years worth of hate, 20 some odd years worth of, I don't get you. Can we figure this out? I hate you. You won't come to my bedroom anymore. All of these things are coming back, and the two of them are like, it's over. This is the thing.
There is an electricity between them that is just perfect. It's palpable, right? And so he says that to her. She is terrified.
Yeah.
And then she passes out. He says, your son has always been your first concern, and now I know why. And that's when Ivy is like, I mean, she's already kind of figured it out, but that's when she really is just like, oh my God. And she faints. She falls down and faints. And Julian just looks at her. Oh my gosh, falls down.
I think he thinks she faked it. We all know full well it's legit. It was too much for her. Yeah. And I love this because, again, the best part of all of this is the reaction shots from the rest of the people from Harmony, including Rebecca's face, who was like, well, like, this is just all juicy. Like, Rebecca is the person in that room who's living her best life right now, because not even Gwen can enjoy this because Ethan's hurting so much, but Rebecca is just on planet. I mean, she is just so happy. Life is so good.
Life is good for Rebecca. I do have some things to say about Gwen, and we'll get to it, but she irritates me. I think this was the moment for me where I was like, not only am I not rooting for Gwen, I fully and completely like dislike her. I think she's a villain. I think this was the moment where I was like, where I realized, not realized, but where I was like, Gwen's the villain and will always be the villain to me.
Yeah.
Period. Point blank. But anyway, yes. Ivy passes out. Eve checks on her. Of course, the doctor is in, and she makes house calls. Now the doctor is in, and she checks on her, and she goes, Eve's I'm sorry, everybody's bad at their jobs in this town.
Because well, again, my running gag and this podcast running gag, I was hoping the minute she saw somebody faint, her response would be, let me get a sedative.
No, I was like, Eve should be sedating Julian. Like, yes, obviously.
For real. Somebody should have got a tranquilizer dart and just gone to Julian, because he was out of control. I mean, he was borderline, just ridiculously abusive at this party. And everybody was just like,
yeah. And it's like a full party. It's not like their normal parties where only 5 people are there. There are like a lot of extras in this room.
Yeah. This was not the New Year's party where there was only 5 people there. This was a real party where there are extras there.
Actual party. Because Rebecca threw it. Rebecca had the guest list.
And I'll say this, at that point, oh my God. So Ivy faints, all of this stuff is happening. Sam is such a dumbass. Because he says, what would our affair have to do with Ethan?
I can't deal
with some math, bro.
When I say I cannot deal with Sam right now, I cannot deal with Sam right now. But you know what? Part of me wonders if this was intentional to show us the density in Sam and the density in Ethan, and how the two are, the apple does not fall far from the fucking tree.
Like, took a DNA test. Turns out I'm 100% that Bennett.
I'm 100% that Bennett. That dense. I'm 100% that dense. Jesus.
No joke. Yeah.
And so, Eve checks on Ivy and just goes, she's like, she's fine. She's just fainted. Girl, get this lady out of here.
Yeah.
Do her a solid. But you know what? What is Eve? What is Eve? This lady has been blackmailing her.
Yeah, they have their own history.
But I truly believe that Eve and Ivy are basically best friends. Like they both know each other's deepest, darkest secrets and do anything to protect their secrets.
One of the best things about rewatching all these episodes is me having to reassess all the things that I thought were true. Like I'm having to reassess Ivy and Pilar's friendship, because I'm like, I thought, yes, Pilar is Ivy's greatest confidant, but it doesn't mean it goes the other way around. And then it's the same thing with Ivy and Eve. Ivy and Eve, their relationship is so interesting to me because they need each other. And and that is what their whole motive, like whatever motivates them, is based off the fact that they have to protect each other. So like there's a lot of readings that can go on there about like what that means and how all this other stuff. And I enjoyed it. And I enjoyed moments that we did get at one point between Ivy, Pilar, and Eve, because they are supposed to be the only 3 that know the secret.
Yeah.
And that was a cool conversation to watch.
Oh yeah. Yes, it was. I mean, those 3 together are magic anyway. Like I just love when
they're powerful.
I especially love when Eve and Ivy come together and like they exchange remarks.
Yes, because they can match wits. Match wits.
I love it. So Ivy's just laying on the floor. Eve's doing nothing to help. She's so bad at her job. You are a doctor. Yeah. Like, get this lady some smelling salts. No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
But honestly, she's laying there. Then Ethan turns to Julian and asks him why he's torturing her about a lover from her past. Because he's picked up some of the things that Julian has said, that I know about your lover and this person that you were with before. And he's like, why are you torturing her about a lover from her past? What does it matter? Mm-hmm. And then Julian starts to tell him, but doesn't. Like, I think Julian really didn't have the heart to do it. He loves this. He loves Ethan.
It's a little bit of a little from column A, a little from column B. I think he loves Ethan. He really does. but I also think he knows it's gonna hurt Ivy more for Ivy to be the one to do it, and that is another motivating factor to make Ivy do it.
Yeah.
And not to mention the fact that when you are being cheated on, or when someone has lied to you, you want to hear the lie from the horse's mouth. And so I think that that's another thing that he wants to get. He knew something was happening. He is correct. He wants to make sure he gets it in all of its glory. And that means Ivy having to be the one to tell everybody what happened.
Yeah. So Ivy starts to come to. Meanwhile, while she's laying there, everybody's having their own individual reactions. Yes. Teresa is flipping.
Oh my God. Because she doesn't understand. And again, it is true. She does not understand how anybody knows.
Listen, let me just say again, like I said, with my advice to Teresa is the same advice I had for Kay. Play dumb. You knew nothing about this, and nobody can prove otherwise without incriminating themselves. And
God bless sincere friendships. I know I tell my best friends everything, but I would not have told Whitney anything until I figured out what was going on.
She immediately blabbed it to Chad.
Yes.
Immediately. Yes. I was like, oh my God, now it's just out. Everybody's just going to know.
And I love Whitney and I love Chad, but I would not, that is exactly why I would not have told Whitney a damn thing. Listen, because my mama told me, don't say anything.
This is why if I wanted to, I could absolutely get away with a crime, because for the most part, the reason people get caught beyond forensics, and if I was clean and made sure, the reason people get caught is because they talk too damn much. Really, they always tell somebody.
Yeah,
I take it to my grave. You would never know. I could have killed a bunch of people by now. Nobody would ever know.
Are you mean to telling me that you sent a tax man into your basement?
Actually, I am Norma.
I thought I saw you with a hatchet at the airport the other day.
They won't let me in anymore. The freaking TSA, man.
They were like, oh no, LeTara's good. She walks around with that hatchet all the time. Let her do her thing.
It's part of her character. It's her personality. So everybody's having their individual reactions. Ivy starts to come to, and she's a little bit delirious. And Ethan is kind of standing over her, and she goes, I knew you would come for me. And she thought he was Sam. Yeah. Oh my God. And then she pops up, but then she quickly remembers what's going on and pops up like a daisy, like pops right up. Okay. Like a Jack in the Box.
Yeah.
She jumps up. She's like, oh, wait a minute. I got to be alert for this shit. And so she jumps up, and because Julian's finally about to tell everybody. And she goes, no, Julian, you can't tell Ethan. She screams that at him. And she yells, no, Julian, I will not let you do this. And Julian yells right back at her. This was great. Julian yells right back at her and says, you can't stop me. You lost. I love that he's like, I love that it's a game for him. You lost.
Yes.
You lost.
I wrote that in all caps. You lost. I mean, it just comes from his diaphragm into the.
Then she goes, that's what you think. And she shoves him out of the room.
Pushes him out of the room. And I'm sitting there going, if I'm at that party, I'd be there by the cheeses like, oh my God, this is so good. We don't ever get to go to the Crane Mansion, but did you see this? Oh my God.
They had some good rich people food. Canapes and
hell yeah.
Tartare.
Yeah, the caviar I'd be drinking my all over the place.
Let me tell you, I would be so drunk at this wedding. At this engagement party. I'd be wasted. I would be so drunk. I would be having a blast.
All bets are off here. And like everything is just, as soon as she fainted, I don't even know when first of all, I would have probably pre-gamed before going over to the Crane Mansion.
Oh, for sure.
And I've already been half lit. Then here I am. And this, they didn't even raise a glass. And then here we are. Yeah.
Listen, so she shoves him out of the room, and then they fight privately in the office, in his office or whatever. She says, you will destroy everything. And he says, you've already destroyed me. You robbed me of my son, the boy I raised as mine since birth, the boy I watched grow into a man of whom I could be proud. you played me for a fool.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, my
Good
heart
writing.
really ached. My
Good
heart
writing.
really ached for Julian because he's going through something. And this is a major, major, major betrayal.
And he sells it.
And I can't in good conscience at this moment be on Ivy's side. No. I couldn't. In this moment, I couldn't be on Ivy's side. But she turns the tide a little bit later for me. But yes. I totally understand where Julian is coming from and where all of this anger is coming from, venom is coming from, you know, and it is deserved.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So he says, you play me for a fool. She drops to her knees.
On hands and knees is begging.
Begs Julian not to tell Ethan. And Julian, I honestly think that Julian, had this not been in the tabloids and had Alistair not known, Julian would have been okay with holding this over Ivy's head and never telling Ethan. I do. Yeah. I think I kind of saw that little glint in his eye. Like, man, I wish I could do that, but I can't because dun, 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 he's like, it's too late, Ivy. And he hands her the tabloid.
Yeah. Because she thinks there's some way of salvaging this. She thinks like, if you love Ethan, even a microscopic bit, which he does. So she's playing to that. And Julian, unfortunately, is like, no, it's not even me. Like, you're screwed. The tabloid has this.
He tells her, get up. And then he grabs her. Oh my gosh. This was so good. He goes all the way off. He picks up a picture of Ethan. He's looking at it. And then he fucking throws it. And then he grabs Ivy and says, you've stolen everything from me. And then he throws her to the ground. And it was very operatic. Like, this is something that I've seen in operas. And it was fantastic. Yeah. Oh my gosh. It was so good.
Julian's anger is so good. Ivy is so good. The whole damn thing is so good. There, like you said, the electricity between them, the chemistry between them, it is palpable and it's so delicious to watch.
Well, Julian makes his way back to the party and Ethan demands to know what the hell is going on. What is going on? And Julian tells him to be ready for the shock of his life. Mm-hmm. And so Ethan says, oh, this was heart-wrenching. This was separate. This wasn't in the party. This was like outside of the party, just outside the doors. Ethan says, just tell me what this is all about, Father. And Julian says, don't say that. And Ethan's like, what do you mean? Don't say what? He says, don't call me Father. And Ethan says, why not? And Julian replies, I'm not your father. And Ethan, you are not a crane. Whoa.
And there it is.
He broke it to him as gently as he could, I guess.
And the reaction shots are, this is what I was talking about earlier. The reaction shots are incredible because you get Teresa, who is, again, tears in her eyes. You get Rebecca, who is loving every second of it. You get Eve just being like, this is the point of no return. We are at the point of no return. And it's absolutely incredible.
I mistakenly said they did this outside of the party, but they did the first part outside and then he did the other part inside of the party. Mm-hmm. And so when he says, I'm not your father, you're not a crane, everybody hears that. Yeah. And Ethan flips the fuck out. Okay. Ethan flips a table.
he throws a vase or vase, depending on which Golden Girl you are, which is probably the most crane thing he's ever done, is to have a temper tantrum. Like it was a lot.
Yeah, no, he demands to know why Julian is lying to him, throws a huge fit. Okay, it's throwing a giant fit. And frankly, I can't be too mad at him about this. I agree. I can't be too mad at him about this. Number one, this is like a crazy, crazy thing that you're being told. But number two, why are you telling me here? Why are you telling me now? Why didn't you take me to the office and do this privately? Why would you do this in front of absolutely everybody? And that is the one thing, well, not the one thing, but that's one of the things that really irritated me about this situation too with Julian, because like I said, I do think he really loves Ethan, but clearly not enough.
This was because he was trying to get back at Ivy and not Ethan, but because he's not thinking he is hurting Ethan an outrageous amount. Because he's trying to get back at Ivy. Meanwhile, Sam, we're going to get back and forth with Sam trying to figure out what's going on. And Eve gets back in the drama because Sam remembers that Eve changed the records to say that Julian was the father and not Sam.
Yeah,
so just just for us to remember that.
If only she truly had changed the records. She literally just told him. She just looked at it and told him, oh, yes, Ethan was born. It does look like Ethan was born prematurely. Yeah. So we can go back to those records and see that Ethan actually was not born
prematurely.
Exactly, yeah. Because Eve has no problem running over Orville with her car, burning down Orville's fucking apartment, sedating people so they can never talk, all of these things, but changing a date. God forbid she penciled in a date on a fucking piece of paper.
Listen. Eve took a lesson from you and knew to shut the fuck up. She was not like Kay, just blabbing everything that she did or coming up with excuses. Eve just literally for about an episode's worth doesn't say anything every time Sam asks her something, and then we move on.
Yeah, no, she's a smart woman. She
says, Eve, why aren't you saying anything? And she's like,
I mean, she is a doctor after all. She is a smart woman. I mean, she's albeit a bad doctor, so bad at her job, so many ethical problems with Eve. But so yes, Sam says something to her, but she doesn't. She tight-lipped. But there's so many other things going on in this room. Yes. You know what I mean? It's like this is not the main conversation.
It's the show's opportunity to check in with Sam, who is a central character in the storyline, to just be like, he doesn't know what's going on, what's going on. So they give us that, but it's not that big a deal.
Yeah. Okay. We gotta keep going. I still have 2.5 pages of notes. So it's crazy. Okay. So Ethan is throwing a fit. He's very upset. Rightfully so. Sheridan shows up because Louise and Sheridan had left this party, but Teresa calls them to come back. I don't know if we're going to have time to talk about Louise and Sheridan today, unfortunately. They just have sexy time.
They were having sexy time. I will say this. We get the infamous musical cue of blum, blum. They're having sexy time is going on over there. But my main thing about them showing up is that they basically get cock blocked, and they are not happy about it, and it's very evident in Sheridan and Louise's acting. Teresa calls on the phone, and they are so evident that they're like, "What do you want?" Like they were about to get it on.
Well, and they keep getting interrupted, right? And you would think that they would just take the phone off the hook, because that's a thing you could do back then.
Yeah.
Like take the phone. Oh, she had a cordless, so she could have just pushed the button and put it in the room, in the other room, so she couldn't hear the dial tone, and boom, bing, bang, boom, nobody can call you.
But their whole bit this week is naked hanging out, and it was just bubble baths and rose petals and how much I love you. And they spend a lot, like precious minutes that we could use to give Ethan and this big storyline. Heck, give me more Hecuba and Tabitha, and give me more Norma. I'll have some more Norma. I don't need to see rose petals and all that bullshit. I'd rather see hatchets.
I didn't mind it. I just don't really want to talk about it because nothing happened. But
nothing.
I love seeing them in love and doing their lovely things,
cute.
Whatever.
Cute.
But they come back to the mansion because Teresa calls them and tells them, hey, something horrible is happening over here. You need to be here for Ethan. You need to be here for Ethan, she says to Sheridan. So they come back, and Sheridan overhears what is going on and overhears that Julian says, you're not a crane, all of this. She comes right in and tells Julian, You're lying. Why would you tell such a disgusting lie on a night like this? You're just trying to hurt Ethan because father passed you over for him as the heir and all of this. And Julian says, which is, because I agreed. What Sheridan said didn't make any sense. Why would I do this? Why would this be my revenge, right? Why would I make this up and embarrass myself, cuckold myself?
No, it's very true.
So where did Ivy go? I wrote Ivy comes back to the party.
Ivy stays in the room a little bit after Julian goes out to do this, because at one point, again, Ethan throws his temper tantrum, and again, I don't blame him for that. The thing I don't excuse is the acting is a little too much for me. It's a little grand, but I don't know how I would respond to the fact that I thought, I guess, whatever. I'm trying to give him some grace here.
I certainly wouldn't respond like that. Yeah. I would leave the room.
Or I would not do it. There's too many people in this house. I was like, I would not let people see me like that. At least I'd like to think that. Julian, because at some point, Sam says he needs to go check on Grace. Again, we haven't talked about Grace too much because it's not a lot to talk about, but she's on her way. Sam basically, I see your face.
I have something
There's
to
some
say
Grace
about Grace
action happening, but it's not. We're getting there. Sam basically is going to say, I need to go check on Grace, but Julian stops him and says, no, he stops Chief Bennett from leaving. He's like, it's time. Because I don't know what he yells, because they say it at the end of one episode and the start of another episode. Biggest lie? Biggest life? I don't know what he says.
Well, when Ivy comes back to the party, Ethan tells her, says, Mother, has my whole life been a lie? Is this true?
Yes.
Tell me the truth, Mother. Who am I? Is a direct quote.
Yeah.
And Ivy just starts crying and begging Ethan not to hate her. So it's true, Ethan. Anyway, we did this for so long. But they're so dumb. They're both so dumb.
And that's why you said it. They're related.
So she's crying. She's telling him, Ethan, please don't hate me. She says, everything I ever did, I did because I love you. And he says, it's true. So it's true. And she said, he asked who his real father is, but she doesn't say anything. And then Julian says, if you won't tell him, then I will. And they have a tug of war over that tabloid, but Julian wins out, and Julian shows it to everybody. This was hilarious. He walked around this room with this tabloid over his head like a boxing match ring girl, the girls that walk around with the.
He held it like Rafiki held up Simba, like it was that he was on Pride Rock and was showing everybody.
100%.
Which is funny because the tabloid I don't remember it looking this awful. It looks so awful. It looks like somebody like cut and paste stuff together. It's really bad. And prop masters, prop master, a while back, you made me a badass dead raven. And then you put this together and it looks like a serial killer put together this National Enquirer.
It looks bad, but he's
so happy. He's gloating.
Yeah, well, he's showing this to everybody at the party. Meanwhile, okay. Meanwhile, Pilar is upstairs with Grace. Grace went to the bathroom a very long time ago. Grace has been upstairs for a very long time. We about to do all this Grace stuff because it was ridiculous.
Yeah, we gotta get it out.
Pilar finds Grace after finding out all of this shit downstairs. She's like, let me go figure out where the fuck Grace is. Let me get her out of here. Like, she doesn't need this stress. So she keeps Grace sequestered in Ivy's bedroom, where Grace starts just going through Ivy's things. Okay, so she's like going through an album and looking at all kinds of things. Grace is being super annoying about Sam, having a second son, and then that bitch ass Angel shows up. Let me tell y'all, I can't stand this angel. I can't stand her. She's a villain. This was when I was like, I think I wrote that in my notes that this angel is an absolute villain. So let me explain to you why she is the villain of Passions. I think she's evil. You know how in The Good Place, have you ever watched The Good Place?
Uh-huh.
A spoiler alert, everybody, put your hands over your ears if you haven't watched it. The Good Place is actually the bad place. That's how I feel about this angel. The angel is actually the devil. Like, she sucks. She's a demon. So she shows up. She appears and tells Grace exactly nothing. She says, evil is here and nothing else. Then she says, stay strong, Grace. Be brave. Look to the goodness within yourself and hold on for dear life. You will need it to fight the evil. You must fight it with all you have. Then Grace asks,
legit question.
What can I do? Where can I go? Who is trying to harm me? Who is trying to hurt my family? But the angel says, and I shit you not, this is what this bitch said. She said, it doesn't matter. You can't do anything about it. The fuck?
Yeah.
Like, I can't stand this angel. She says, it doesn't matter. If it doesn't matter, then why the fuck are you here?
So as a person who has never heard the word bitch ass next to little angel girl, which is totally warranted in these episodes, I have to say, I must admit. Little angel girl always showed up and was, gives us the illusion of helpfulness that does this. I will say in my notes, I said, she really did just come to say, life is going to suck and I can't give you any information.
Just stay where the fuck you were.
Then leave her alone.
Stay where you were. Because here's my thing. So she says that. She says, you can't do, it doesn't matter. You can't do anything about it. And then she disappears. So then Grace yells out, please don't go. You have to tell me what to do. And this is when I was like, this bitch is absolutely a villain. She knows Grace is pregnant. She knows Grace doesn't need this kind of stress. Grace doesn't need this stress right now.
My main thing about all of this is I'm sitting there going, okay, if you are going to be vague and maybe God doesn't let you say everything, I don't know what the rules are. However, Grace is specifically asking, like, what is going on with this and with that? And she's like, well, something's going on with Sam's son. Like, can you just say Ethan? Like, can you at least give her that? Because that's what you're alluding to. That's what you are referring to. And Grace is like, Noah? And she's like, no, the baby inside me. And she won't say anything. So I totally understand where your frustration is coming from with little angel girl. What's the point of saying, I'm here to warn you if you can't help? Because meanwhile, Tabitha and Hecuba can do whatever the hell they want to, but you are not being helpful to Grace at all, who is ready to be an ally to support all of the goodness and harmony. She's like, something's happening with Sam's son specifically.
She is zero help ever, and I hate her. I can't stand this angel. And honestly, again, like you said, like, what's the point? Number one. And like I just said, she knows that Grace is pregnant. She knows that Grace is having a tricky pregnancy because she's old. And I mean, that's true. Old ladies have hard times with having
it's harder, yes.
It's more dangerous to have I mean, having a baby
why would you
at
put
any
her
age,
through that?
Having a baby at any age is dangerous. It is one of the craziest things that I think anybody can do is give birth. But women do it every day. But, at 40 something, it is dangerous to give birth, more dangerous than it normally is, which is already very dangerous, So this angel is a villain. No one is going to convince me otherwise. No one. Because also she's a villain for saving Charity's ass a bunch. We could just let her go. Stop saving Charity. She's not doing anything anyway.
I do love that in these episodes we do get Tabitha and Timmy being like, and that little angel girl shows up, has had to deal with the little angel girl. And it's like, little angel girl, you should be helping Charity. She's on fire.
She's literally being pushed into, wait a minute. Again, like I said, a demon. She's a villain and she's a demon because she has been there every other time to save Charity from Tabitha. But the minute hell opens up and your friends start pulling her down the hell, the demons in hell are pulling her down. So that's out. All right, I guess. That girl is she's a demon. Yeah. She's not that ain't no angel. So a fallen angel she is. So yeah, I hate that angel. Moving on. Pilar goes back down. Poor Pilar's just running around this whole place with like a chicken with her head cut off, just trying to keep Grace upstairs.
Guest at her daughter's fucking engagement party, but she's upstairs taking care of Grace and like doing all this other stuff. But
so she comes back downstairs. She tells Sam, you need to get Grace out of here. You need to take Grace home. And so Sam is head up the stairs, and I think you said this earlier. And as he's going up, Julian says, and yeah, this is where we were. Julian calls back to him saying, I think you should be here for this, Chief Bennett. And he says he can't believe what a fool he's been. This is Julian. I can't believe what a fool I've been. I've seen you running to Ivy over and over again, running to her rescue all those times.
The prom boat, the mine shaft.
And so Julian says, here it is, big as life. And then he hands a paper to Sam and everyone at the party. I thought we had already showed it to everybody. Maybe not.
Oh, no, but I'm happy. Biggest life? What did he see? That's what I was alluding to earlier.
Yeah, life. Like, he says, here it is, big as life.
Big as life. There we go. Thank you. Because I was like, biggest life? Okay, that makes much more sense than what I thought I was hearing.
And that's when he shows it to Sam, and then he goes around like Rafiki with the paper, right?
Yeah.
So then Ethan's first words upon hearing this news are, he can't be my father. I hate him. Yeah. Like, there's so many people who hate their fathers. There's a lot of psychiatrists making a lot of money on people who hate their fathers, who have father issues. I don't think the fact that you hate him makes it impossible for him to be your father, right?
Well, and my favorite thing about all this, because at some point he basically says something like lies, all lies, but the way he yells it, he sounded like Frau Bishna from Austin Powers. He was like, lies, all lies.
I didn't notice, but that's hilarious. That voice.
That's what it sounded like to me. I was like, oh my God, it sounds like Frau Bishna from Austin Powers.
Yeah.
But yeah, he has another episode of how shocked he is. And again, the acting's not the greatest. I do like the guy, but his reaction, I wouldn't know how I would react.
Well, he and Sam do the exact same thing. Sam then goes over to Ivy and says, tell your son this is nothing but a bunch of pathetic lies.
Yeah. And they go back and forth for a while, and then at some point Ethan again goes off, and finally Sam says something, because I wrote down Ethan versus Sam. At some point Sam just says, why don't you shut the hell up? There is so much, like, they're both confused, and rightfully so. They're both confused, and they're both like can't figure it out.
Well, and then Ethan goes into a state of denial. Okay, we're traveling through the stages of grief. Okay, he was at anger,
the roller coaster.
Yeah, and we're doing it in an odd order, but you can have the stages of grief in any order. In case nobody knew that, you can have them in different orders. Yeah. So, he was at anger. Now we're in denial, firmly in denial, and kind of stuck there. So he says, this tabloid, Ethan says this tabloid isn't reliable. They post stories about UFOs and witches all the time. He says it's nothing but lies.
I like that little shout out.
I am Ethan Crane, the firstborn son of Julian and Ivy Crane. I am Ethan Crane, first of his name. Father of dragons. Yeah. I am Ethan Crane, son of Julian and Ivy Crane. I am a Crane by birth and by blood, honey. That's what he says. But no, he ain't. Rebecca immediately goes to cozy up to Julian. Like, girl, not the time. Not yet. Not yet. Give it a minute. Also, how Julian hasn't figured out that Rebecca is the architect here is beyond me.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't marry this woman if she put this in the tabloid.
She basically preps him for like all of the things that are to come.
Yeah.
When they sent the letter to the tabloids. So
yeah. She says to Julian that he handled the news with a quiet dignity that only he could pull off, which is hilarious considering the way he actually handled the news, which was not good.
I will say she knows how to comfort Julian's ego and like what makes a man a man. Like she knows she is not wrong when she tells Gwen, like, I know how to handle him. She does. Rebecca is the kind of woman that can figure out how to help somebody like Julian. They're made for each other in one sense, but in another sense, they're toxic for each other.
Exactly. Yeah. So meanwhile, oh geez, even Pilar start trying to figure out how to get Grace out of the mansion without her ever witnessing all of this. Grace has been upstairs for so goddamn long. You said you were going to the bathroom, and you have just been wandering the halls of this home.
I'm convinced
45 minutes.
Yeah, I'm convinced that she made out with Miguel and saw an angel girl like in the span of the time that she was up there. At one point she's looking through Ivy's photo albums. Like,
yeah. No, that's what she was in Ivy's room, just going through Ivy's shit.
But you know what? I don't blame her. If I was in somebody's mansion and all that shit was going down, I'd probably be fuscando and looking through shit. I mean, I would be looking around.
Yeah, so they try to get her out of the mansion without her witnessing this whole hullabaloo, but it doesn't work, because why would it work? Why would that work? She came with her husband. She's going to leave with her husband. Why would she just randomly leave a party without even saying goodbye to her husband? That's not gonna happen. It's ridiculous that anybody thought that would work. So Grace starts to make her way downstairs, saying I need to find Sam. I need to find Sam. I have such a terrible feeling. This was terrible. I was so annoyed by this whole thing. I need to find Sam. She keeps saying, I need to find Sam. Bitch, you know exactly where he is. He's exactly where he was when you left him.
Yeah.
Just go back downstairs and you will find him. He's not lost. Yeah. She kept saying, I need to find Sam, like he's wandered off somewhere. He's not a lost puppy. He's downstairs. Yeah. Just go downstairs. So she's standing at the top of the stairs, continuing to say how she needs to find Sam and that she has such a terrible feeling about the angel's warning and that it's bothering her. And she tells Pilar, and Pilar offers to take her home, but Grace is like, no, I need to stay. The angel said that I need to have courage and that I need to have strength. So they stay upstairs. Back downstairs, Sam confronts Eve again about the hospital records. Nope, still nothing. So Ethan goes to Julie and says, I see why you and grandfather hate the newspapers. Again, fully in denial. I see why you and grandfather hate the newspapers. They'll print anything to sell papers. They can. He's like, we can sue them and put them out of business. And Julian says, sorry, son. He doesn't say son. He says, sorry to say that the papers are true this time. Ethan is really, Ethan then says, if it were true, then Sam would know, but Sam seems clueless. Obviously, Sam doesn't, like, a man can have a child without knowing it because he doesn't give birth to a fucking baby. Yeah. Only women can have, the women are the only ones who actually have to do the hard, heavy lifting of having a baby. A man can be gone like Sam was, right? Yeah. And Ethan knows this. He's just in denial.
He really is. And I will say there is a little bit of like these sympathetic moments where I get with him where he's like you said, delusional, where he's like, come on, father, like you and we can talk about this and it's not a thing, right? Like we're gonna wake up tomorrow and everything's gonna be okay. And it's not.
Well, then Julian, he's trying to convince Ethan. Yeah. He reads a passage from the letter that was printed in the newspaper, and it goes, It's from Ivy to Sam. Our love did more than comfort me. Our love produced a son, our son. Ethan is our son, not mine and Julian's, mine and yours. Ethan is a Bennett, not a Crane. All my love forever, Ivy. That's so many ways. They use so many synonyms, like so many ways.
It's over.
To say Ethan is my son, is your son. Ethan is not a Crane. Ethan is a Bennett. Like she said it so many. Who writes like that?
Yeah.
Who writes like that? That again, I probably be like faking innocence. Like DNA tests are in play here, but in truth, at this time, DNA was very, very inconsistent. So she could have very easily been like, that's not mine. So I would have deny.
I like that you went in full on research and were like, at this point in time, these tests can be inconclusive or could be mistakes. Whereas any Passions dweller would know, if Dr. Russell was in charge of these things, that shit don't mean nothing.
It doesn't mean anything. It's not worth the paper it's printed on. The DNA test done by Eve Russell. Ugh.
I would have been like, oh no. Even get me the guy from Maury. I trust him better.
Oh, for sure. Yes, the lab that Maury uses, 1-800-DNA. I think that might be it. Which that's not enough numbers, so it can't possibly be it. But I love Maury. I'm so sad it's getting canceled. I think that this is like their last season. I mean, it's been on for 30 years, but
don't say that. No.
But I'm really upset because they filmed that in Connecticut, and when we moved here, I was like, I'm gonna go see a live taping of Maury, and I've just never done it. So I need to see if I can get up there before they're done.
Never put it past Passions to have a Maury episode. They had a Jerry Springer episode. Why wouldn't they have a Maury episode?
I have heard tell. Dana Sparks told us about this Jerry Springer episode. I don't even remember it. And then I couldn't find it. I was looking for clips of it online. I could not find it. So I don't even know.
Vaguely remember it.
When we get there, I'll be excited about it. But I tried to find it and I couldn't. Yeah. Okay. So back to this paternity test.
Yeah.
The paternity test that's just a letter. So Ethan still doesn't believe it, saying it's a forgery. And then he accuses Sam, saying, you did this. Why would Sam blow up his own life? And he goes, he goes, did you have one of your handwriting experts down at the police station draw up this pathetic excuse for a document? Why would Sam do this? Sam yells at him, shut up, just shut up. He tells him to shut up. And he says, one thing I never thought you were is dumb, but this is just plain stupid. Why in the hell would I want to claim you as my son? Yeah. But you know what? My thing is, he says, "Why this is plain dumb," and he's right. This is plain dumb. Yeah. But the dumb part about it is not you wanting to claim Ethan as your son. The dumb part about it would be you blowing up your entire life.
Yeah.
For no reason.
Yeah.
That would be the dumb part. Why would I blow up my whole fucking life just to have you as a son that I don't even like? I don't even like you. But Ethan says you would do this because you would do anything to hurt me or my family. Ethan's hate for Sam is so strong, and they have not built this up well enough for me.
No, you're right. It's like, okay, maybe he got mad at you for having, sex on the beach with Gwen, but like, you don't have any other reason to hate him beyond he's just this person that lives in harmony.
Well, they've built it up a little bit. There's the whole thing about Sam and the prom boat disaster. Sam and was it Sheridan's whole thing? Probably. There's another thing.
Probably a little bit of that. Yeah.
There was definitely Sheridan's whole thing. There was another thing that happened that there's just been a lot of things that have happened in town that Ethan holds Sam accountable for as the chief of police.
Yes.
And so he's been trying. He's been like had this campaign,
but also his own Crane arrogance is like he has those own. I mean, whether he wants to admit them or not, he does not walk on water. He has his own Crane arrogance where they are the less people. Oh,
absolutely. So he has had he does have this animosity towards Sam, for sure. But
all
of a sudden it has turned from like, I don't like him, he's bad at his job, to like, I hate him.
You're right.
And I have this visceral reaction thinking
You're
that he would be my father. They just didn't do enough with it for me to believe that Ethan has this much hate for Sam, but he does. Okay, so that's where we are. So Ethan says, you would do anything to destroy me and my family, hurt me. He says, this is my home. This is where I grew up. This is my father. Alistair is my grandfather. I am Ethan Crane. No one can take that away from me. No one. Julian says, Ethan, you are not a Crane. I'm not your father, and this is not your home. That's awful.
That was harsh. It was very harsh.
I mean, just because your sperm did not fertilize the egg, you're gonna throw the boy out? It's not even his fault.
And it's funny is that I would sit there, like, if I were writing it today, I'd want the camera to zoom in on Rebecca to just give her a little bit of a scare in her potential plan, because she thinks full-heartedly Julian will accept him. But these are comments that are making me think, no, he won't. I thought he would too, if you're under this pretense that he's like, well, you basically raised him, so why wouldn't you? But no, like, he's like, I'm not, like, he made it sound like you need to pack up your bags today.
Yeah.
Because you are not a Crane.
He said, this is not your home.
Yeah, that was so harsh. It was
then he tells Ethan, we got to keep going. He tells Ethan, go, if you don't believe me, just look at your mother, look at the look on her face. Yeah. All you have to do is look into her eyes and you can see that this is the truth. And so Ethan does go and ask Ivy, flat out, is this true? And Ivy just says, I'm sorry, Ethan. I'm so sorry. And then she cries. Yeah. And Ethan shows, and I'm going to read you exactly what I wrote in my notes. Ethan then shows what I initially thought was incredible grace, but what turned out to be incredible denseness. He embraces Ivy and says, it's okay, mother. It's not true. I'm not Sam Bennett's son. Ivy has all but said it at this point. She's all but said it. He says, you and Sam were never lovers. And then he says to her, you're just confused and upset. Huh? What? Yes, I am upset. And now I'm doubly upset because I didn't think I raised you to be so damn stupid. So he continues. He just in this depth of denial. He goes, you've always told me, to Ivy, you've always told me all my life that I'm a Crane and I should be proud of it. And I will be the Crane heir. You wouldn't fill my heart with dreams like that if they weren't true. I know in my heart that I'm a Crane. Now tell father it's not true. Julian says, tell your son the truth, girl. And Ivy finally, very timidly says, I knew Sam before I was married to Julian. And I was in love. And then Ivy tells her truth, and it is beautiful. It is glorious.
She
and
does an incredible job of recapping her relationship with Sam Bennett. She does a fantastic job. And again, not a plug, but a plug for Hidden Passions. These are the kinds of things that you hear in the book that Tabitha wrote about Ivy and Sam's relationship. She basically gives you a pretty decent summary of all the things that she went through with her father and Alistair and the merger and all of that good stuff. It's really good. It's
so good that I might, if this episode's not too long, we're already so long. If this episode's not too long, I might just edit that clip into this episode because, and if I am going to do that, I'll do it right. If I do that, it'll be right here.
Mother, I don't understand. If Sam was your first great love, what happened? Why did you stop seeing him?
My father found out that I was seeing Sam, and that he was a local, a boy without a fortune, and certainly not the proper husband for the governor's daughter. So my father devised a plan to keep us apart. I didn't hear from Sam for months, and I could never reach him. Every time I tried to get through, I found out much later that my father had intercepted all of our phone calls and all of our letters. But at the time, I was destroyed. I couldn't understand why Sam had just deserted me. I was told that he'd found other girls and that he had just used me and moved on, but Sam had seemed to love me so much. And he told me he couldn't live without me, and I believed him. I really thought he loved me. And so my heart broke, and I think I just went numb. And that's when Julian came into my life. And he was so charming and so attentive. And he seemed so wildly in love with me. And I thought you were gone forever. So when Julian wanted to marry me and my father agreed, I just accepted. But the proposal? Well, it was just a merger between the Winthrops and the Cranes, and I was just a piece of flesh sold to the highest bidder.
Because she should have gotten an Emmy for that. She should have gotten a daytime Emmy for this. She was incredible in this.
I saw
incredible.
It was unbelievably moving. So she tells this whole story, and we get new information from Ivy here, actually.
Yeah.
Because the story that we knew of from Ivy is that she went to Sam on her wedding night after she found out that Julian didn't really love her. That's like pretty much all we knew. But we find out that she had been trying to get in touch with Sam, and she kept saying she has always alluded to her father tricking her, but we didn't get the answers that we were looking for. Mm-hmm. And she finally explains what it was, and she says she tried to get in touch with Sam, tried to call, tried to send letters, and every letter, every phone call that both of them tried to send to each other got intercepted. So she thought that Sam had forgotten about her, and he thought that she had thrown him over. They both thought this about each other, right? And she finds out that her father set all of this up, and then Julian, after a few months of they groomed her for this. After a few months of not hearing from Sam and sending him letters and calling him and getting no response, she was so torn down that when Julian showed up into her life, he was so loving and so kind and so doting and devoted to her, and told her that he loved. He was so she said he made it seem like he was so in love with me that when he proposed, I thought, this is fine. This is, I can do this. This is good. I can love another man. I can do this. And then it all went to hell when she found out it was all a lie and it was all fake. And she found out on their wedding night that she even heard Julian and Alistair laughing about it, and how Julian said that he wanted to marry somebody else, and all of this.
Yeah, he even mentions the name, but she comes down the mansion staircase and is legit not she's happy. She's she's okay. And then she hears that, and Alistair says something well, at least you got somebody who's hot, basically. You should be grateful that you got a nice piece there. And he's all right. I mean, and it's something, because it's so funny, because Julian right now is portraying himself as so duped, so all this stuff. Well, when you get Ivy's side of the story, Julian was no angel in this either. Like he fully knew that this was a merger, that this was something Alistair said, you are marrying this person, be grateful that she's hot, and let's move forward.
Yep. And he just was never upfront with Ivy about it. She was lied to. She was deceived. She was tricked. And it was astounding and an astonishing performance. I mean,
beautiful. She should have gotten an Emmy nomination, a daytime Emmy nomination, at least.
Truly. It was
because
so
I
fabulous.
think Juliet Mills has one for the show. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. But I think I know a little my IMDb trivia. But for her not to get just a daytime Emmy nomination for this it's not right, because she's absolutely incredible. And Ben Masters is good in this too. But Ivy does Kim does something that just really tells you so much of a story that you've heard about off stage, on stage in just a few episodes.
Yeah, and Ethan embraces her. He hugs her. He says, it's okay. You were tricked. You've never said anything like this before. But he still is maintaining that, no, I still can't be Sam's son because you broke up with Sam before you married father. He's so dumb. Oh, I can't stand him. Like, really, you're gonna make your mom spell it out for you? Are you serious?
To quote Sam Bennett, why won't you just shut the hell up?
Why won't you just shut the hell up? So then Julian is the one who finally kind of lays it all out. And he says, oh, now it all makes sense. That's where you were on our wedding night. That's where you went. And that's when Ethan was conceived. And he then says, you wouldn't let me touch you for weeks afterwards. And then you were pregnant and you said that the baby was premature.
Yeah.
Okay. I will say this is an inconsistency. They, at the beginning of this show, the writers said to us that Ethan was conceived on Julian and Ivy's honeymoon. That is not what they have told us. That's unless they went on a honeymoon 6 weeks later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe.
I always my folklore, or what I remember, was that on the wedding night she left and went with Sam Bennett. And then I feel like Hidden Passion says that too. I could be mistaken, but
that's exactly what happens in the show. But what they told us early, told us early on in the show was that Julian's understanding was that she got pregnant on their honeymoon.
Oh, got it. Okay.
And then that she wouldn't let him touch her for a long time after that. That's how they framed it, like in episode 4. But we've changed the narrative, which happens on this show.
Yes, yeah.
But that is where we kind of ended with them this week. I do want to say very quickly, I want to end with some Gwen hate.
Okay.
Gwen starts to have second thoughts. She's like, maybe we shouldn't have sent that letter to the tabloid, because she sees how hurt Ethan is. She's like, I hate to see Ethan hurting like this. Bitch, what did you think was going to happen? Like, how did you think he was going to react? Did you think he would react with glee? Did you think he would just take it on the chin and it would be all right? He's just like, oh, well, this is unfortunate, but like, of course he's gonna be fucking devastated, especially for it to come out like this. If you wanted to, you could have just told him, and you could have told him, I found this on Teresa's laptop. I don't know what it means, and I can't. And don't worry about why I was on her laptop, but I found this on her laptop. I don't know what it means. That's the right.
That to me wins Ethan for you.
Yes.
That to me, you stumbled on that. Not you did. I'm sorry. Let me correct myself. You did not stumble. You deduced this fully. Is that had she just said, hey, I thought I was using Ivy's computer. Turns out it was Teresa's. She has this paperwork about you being this. I needed to tell you, obviously, because I love you. I mean, boom, there it is.
Well, I mean, I have half a brain in my head, so I mean, of course I would. That is the logical course of action.
Whereas their trajectory is Rebecca has to find a way to get Julian to marry her, to put Ethan at, I mean, it is a lot.
So that Gwen can marry her step brother. Yeah.
Yeah. Basically.
Gross.
But
Rebecca does try to rationalize. Sorry. Rebecca does try to rationalize saying, you know, Ivy's the one who kept the secret. So is Teresa. You have nothing to feel bad about. The what, girl? She's like, we don't have anything to feel bad about. You don't have anything, nothing at all, Rebecca.
For a Hotchkiss, they're good.
Yeah.
By Hotchkiss standards, they're good.
That's how we have to end it this week. It was fantastic. Do you have anything to add? You can add if you got anything to add.
The only thing we have to end on is the fact that all of this information is being relayed throughout the mansion, and Grace is at the top of the stairs.
Yes. Oh my God. I cannot believe I almost forgot this. Oh my God.
That was the only thing that I was like looking through my notes going, I think we got everything, except Grace hears this at where? The top of a staircase. And that is never good on a soap opera.
For a pregnant lady. And she takes a tumble. She takes a tumble at the beginning of, at the end of this episode. That's it. That's where
that's the cliffhanger.
She falls down that grand staircase, and she's pregnant, and that's how they do. That's always how they do it in TV shows.
Yeah.
When they're gonna, when they want to abort a baby in the nicest way possible, they throw the woman down the stairs so that they can, get rid of her pregnancy.
To help your argument about how awful the little angel girl is, she doesn't go to check on Charity. She didn't stop Grace from falling. She just was like, stuff's gonna happen. And she flew away.
I hate that angel. I really, 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 really hate that angel. But that's neither here nor there. It's not important. That's it. That's the show this week. It was a big one. I hope you all enjoyed it. I had a great time talking Passions with you again, Eric. It's always a great time.
It meant so much to see. To me, this is the big secret of Passions. This is the big climactic thing of Passions. I got my magic. I got my axe wielding Norma. I got my Hecuba with fires and flames. I had paternity tests and Eve. I got all.
Yeah, you got everything.
This week had everything.
This week was fantastic. It was a great week. Oh my God. I might watch these episodes again. I'm definitely going to watch the episodes with Ivy explaining again. Oh my God.
She should have gotten an Emmy nomination. Unbelievable. Die on that hill.
So, Eric, where can the people find you?
Yeah, I am at Mr. Eric Vera on everything. Something that I also tell people to do, especially if there are film and TV lovers, get on Letterboxd. It is this incredible app that allows you to track all the movies that you watch. And I'm Mr. Eric Vera on that as well. And so if anybody's into like horror or magic or things like that, I definitely watch a lot of those and post my reviews on that. So anybody who is a film buff, get on Letterboxd. It's such a great app.
Okay. All right. There's a plug for Letterboxd. Maybe they'll sponsor us. No.
Hey, you never know.
All right. And remember, you can always catch me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, at Passions Pod or at Podcast Passions, or at Passions Podcast. If you just type in Passions Podcast, it will come up. Okay.
You are number one. You are number one.
I'm number one. I'm number one. So thank you all so much. And remember, you are my passion for life. All right.